How are we doing, everybody? How are we all doing? Hope everyone's having a good day wherever you are in the world. So this is something new that I'm starting. It's going to be me interviewing other streamers, big streamers, small streamers, basically so everyone gets to know them a bit more in-depth look into just them in general. So, you can discover new people, or they can tell you how they got to where they are, or their future ambitions, etc. like that. And there's only one person that we could start with, the man himself, Mr. Chief. We all know Chief, right? Thank you very much for joining me today, bud. Helping me on the first one. This definitely isn't the second time that we've done this. We didn't have audio issues the first time. It's all good. So, I'm just going to crack it straight away. We're going to talk about how did you get into streaming?
I have no idea. I just started one day in 2017, November, and that was like, I don't know how I started. I don't remember. I just, for some reason, decided to do it, and I just have kept doing it for the past 2 years now.
Did you watch people before you started streaming?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've been watching Twitch for years.
I don't even know when Twitch started. When did Twitch start?
Didn't it evolve from Justin TV?
Whoa, that's probably something we should look up.
Yeah.
I don't know that fact. I don't know where it started from.
So there was like two platforms. I believe there was Justin TV, and then there was some type of streaming site called like 3D TV. Those were the two platforms that everyone watched back in the day, and I believe one of them turned into Twitch.
What got you starting to watch Twitch? I started watching Twitch because of the Pro Tour. That's how I found Twitch, and I started jumping on it.
I watched, I think, back when I played League of Legends in 2010. It was the place to watch, so I watched like CLG's founder Hotshot GG, and so he was a big streamer on Justin TV.
So did you play other games before Magic, or have you always played Magic and just dabbled in other games?
No, I only started playing Magic in 2015.
Really? Fucking, that's like, so I started playing when I was a little kid. So when I was like, I started in Urza's block, but then I stopped because I found girls, and didn't start again for another 15 years once girls got boring. And then, but that was 2014. The set just came out, literally the pre-release weekend of 2014. M14 is when I started again. So we've been kind of back on the same ship at the same time. That's interesting. Right, okay. So that's when you started streaming. Weird that you can remember that date. Still freaks me out. Right, your username. Let's go over this one. How did you come up with the name SquaChief?
So my friends growing up always nicknamed me. They would call me Chief, but then my dad heard it and he was like, "Nah, he's SquaChief. I'm Chief." And so then they just started calling me that. It's just like a slang for little, SQUA.
So when
meaning little Chief.
When you become a dad, do you get to actually inherit? Will you change your Twitch to just Chief?
Just Chief. When I become a dad, who says I'm not a dad? You never know these days.
Fair, well, that is true. You never know.
I'll have a kid 10 years. 10 years down the road, when I'm a millionaire, they'll be like, "Hey, this is your kid." I'm like, "No, it's not." And so,
fuck my life. Need a DNA test and that. Just get him to smile. It's always a way to smile. Like you got to come from a dentist family, right?
Yeah, I gotta smile. But no, I'll be SquaChief forever.
So your dad gave you the nickname, and it's just stuck.
It's stuck for a long time.
That's how I told you. Oh, well, I did. You already know, but I'm going to say it again. How mine came up was I went to a team tournament with a couple of my friends, and it was just put your name on the bit of paper, right? Cool, yeah, Will, blah blah blah. But then when my mate handed it in there, we need a name for your team, and we wasn't there. I didn't know at the time, but he named our team the TheWillHallExp. I didn't know because when standings go up, it was all three of our names. And it was only at the end of the tournament, because we actually won the tournament, when they're reading out who, team card fiddledigs, one came third or whatever, and it got to the first, and it went, the Will Hall experience. And I was like, what the fuck? And that's just stuck since then. And now look at me. Now I'm a small-time streamer with the name. Yay. All right. That's the little explanation of that. So, people that haven't watched you before, haven't watched your stream before, and they're going to watch this for the first time, which don't know, that'd be pretty weird because you've probably got exactly the same audience I have, but bigger. Describe yourself in 3 words to someone new that's never watched you before. They know that you stream Magic. What's the 3 words that are going to entice them?
A winner, a memer, and a loser. That we all just come full circle. I can Oh, I can go 2-4 to GP, or I can get 13th, or I can freaking win a freaking 3K, or I can O2 drop. It's just no consistency.
It's just do you always mean when you're winning, or do you mean when you're losing more?
Probably when I'm losing. When I'm winning, I don't talk much. I get so focused.
You're
I
just
just
dialed
like
in. Do you?
I get in the zone.
I always find I play better I'm uh when I haven't eaten. It sounds really weird. Like when I'm like
No,
something's wrong with me. So
I
it's either if I
I
haven't eaten, I haven't slept the night before, or like I really need to go for a piss. I always play better. And then as soon as I like, oh right, I'll go for a piss at like round 6 or something, I just start losing. I'm like, the fuck's this all about? I don't know
yeah,
why. Maybe I'm just
I
more
need to
dialed
eat.
in.
I always bring any GP, any big tournament. I bring food to eat.
What
I
food do you eat?
crash mentally. I'll bring trail mixes like Kirkland. You have Costco in the UK or what?
No, we don't have Costco in the UK.
So just a Walmart. It's just like club trail mix.
All right,
Just like
we have trail mix. So it's like a generic trail mix.
yeah,
And what? So is that how
but
do you? Okay, let's go on to this one. This is how do you prepare when you play um, paper magic? Like say you're going to
uh,
GP. What's your day leading up to it? Do you travel there the day before? Do you travel on the day? Like how say it's
I usually get there the day before. That's the big thing, and then I'm usually picking. I usually have like two decks with me that I'm undecided with that I won't pick until like the very last minute.
classic.
And I've never picked a deck like further out than 48 hours. Like it's only been within 48 hours of the GP starting I've ever picked a deck.
When I was on Pro Tour Armand Cat, so it's my first Pro Tour. It's my only Pro Tour I've been on. Mardu Vehicles was like the big deck at the time because it was standard, and we're all sat in like this house that we rented in Phoenix, and everyone's basically playing Mardu Vehicles pretty much. One Blad's on Aetherworks, and I really don't like playing the best deck, so I'm like, yeah, cool, I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna enjoy it as much. But then we saw someone 5-0'd 2 leagues of blue white flash like the Spirits deck, and I was like, do we have the cards for this? They're like, yeah. This is 3 hours before the deadline. The day before we have to submit our decks. I was like, quick, let's build it. So I built it. Played literally probably about 8 games versus the lads on Mardu Vehicles, and I was like, yeah, I'm sold. And I just registered this
Yeah.
deck 3 hours out for the fucking Pro Tour. I was like,
It was fine versus Mardu, and so people were
yeah,
trying
it
to
was
just
all right
metagame.
versus Mardu, and Aetherworks was just a buy. Like I literally was destroying everyone on Aetherworks, and I was losing more to like super heavy removal decks. That's what really caught me. Seeing that Mardu ones were quite hard because as soon as they got a vehicle out, they just temper you, play a guy, blow it up, do 3 damage to you. That kind of caught me out. I did make day 2 of it though, but so humble brags. So yeah, you get the day before, you pick the day 24 hours. Also, one I always think is that I've always done personally. What about sideboards? If you're going to a tournament, more tailored towards modern and probably pioneer now, like the bigger formats where there's more decks and more varieties. Do you have like your deck and 15 card sideboard, or do you? I normally have like a 60 card
Uh,
deck and about a 50 card sideboard that I'll pick that morning, night before sort of stuff.
yeah, that'll also be last minute with it. Like I'll bring 50 cards to the GP and be like, okay, if I want to audible this or this or this, or if I forget something, I'll go buy a card that I need in the morning of. I'll register it and then hope that I can buy it.
What do you bring a sideboard guide with you, or do you just on the whim?
I used to. Now it's just on the whim.
Yeah, I've always done it on the whim. I've never done a whole sideboard guide thing, unless we did once for a team. Like I was the whole team. We all played exactly the same deck in the GP, and we. I don't think anyone did worse than 10-5 at the GP. Like that was the worst record. We did really well with it. I think one lad top 8'd, but we had a sideboard guide for that, and that was the only time I've done it. That was quite a cool experience. But other than that, I'm just whimming it. And do you shuffle your whole sideboard in and then take 15 cards out, or do you just go four
No,
cards, 4 cards?
I do the just cards in, cards out. Who
Yeah,
was it? Who didn't Yuya do that? It's one of the Japanese pros who's famous for that. They would just put all 15 in.
I see a lot of people do it, and I saw some just people talking about it on Twitter recently, and they've never I suppose it's like a weird element of the game if you're really looking at your opponent while he's sideboard and seeing how many cards he brings in, how many cards he brings out. I suppose there's some very small advantage you could guess from that, but
Most people just don't care is the issue.
exactly.
Like,
Well, it's, but most people aren't normally playing for tens of thousands of dollars like some of the pros, I guess.
yeah, I guess if you're in that situation where it's like any advantage, like preventing any advantage you give them.
Like I might do it if deck lists were made public. Like if I was in the top eight, I know like SCG they have top eight, they have the deck lists. Maybe then I'll
Yeah, that
shuffle
makes sense.
15
Like,
in.
oh, he brought in six. Which logical six could he actually
Exactly. Yeah,
bring
you know
in?
what I mean. Like that's probably a reason I'll do it. But it's just the casuals into like just your local tournaments. I don't think I'll do it. Well, I definitely don't do it. That's makes it easier. Right. So next question is what tips would you give to new streamers starting off? So someone that's just watched yourself and they're like, I want to get where Chief is. How do they do that?
Three things: consistency. So having it ties in with schedule. So you want to schedule. That's the biggest thing. And then consistently doing it, not skipping days, like not taking that time off, like just being consistent and having a schedule so people will be able to come back and find you when they expect to find you. And then the third biggest thing for me that I tell everybody, I even told this to Tom Ross and like sent him ways on how to set up, was to make YouTube and like how to record with Streamlabs OBS. That I have so many people watching me from YouTube that I would not meet, know, like people give me donation decks to play from YouTube that I never would have had if I didn't do that. And I think my stream actually blew up to be able to be partner status because of YouTube. I think if I didn't, I'd still be at like 30, 40 viewers.
So just note so everyone's aware where it's obviously you just got partner as well, which is like great. And you did it with the MTGO route as well. There was no arena involved. This is straight old school grinding. There's no like casuals can jump in, but
yeah,
this is.
I'm appealing to like all the old boomers and all the old men that are watching.
So well, let's just try and break these three down and see if we can get a bit more depth in them. So consistency, having a schedule and sticking to it. I know when I first started, I was like doing like 2 days a week, and I've got a job. I come home from my job and I'm just like, fuck me, I really don't want to be. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna have the night off, and if I have a night off and I'm only doing 2 nights a week, that's 1 night a week. You know what I mean? You're not really gonna see growth there, so you kind of should be more consistent with it. It's one thing I've kind of started recently. Well, I say recently, in the last like maybe 6 months. This is I've gone to a schedule of having like doing 4 to 5 nights a week. Even if it's just, I always want to come on at least do a league because it's still content, right? It's still content, even if it's just a 2-hour league. Some people just jump on, watch a 2-hour league, and then they'll jump off. It's easy, but I wouldn't be sporadic, just randomly jumping on whenever. Some people can't do that because of their lives, and I fully understand that. But you should take into consideration with that you're not going to see the amount of growth that you would if you had a schedule moving forward. Will you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yep. That's all I've got on that one. Will, what was the second one you said? So YouTube was the third.
Consistency, schedule, and then YouTube.
So you told me about the YouTube thing. That's one thing you actually said to me.
Yeah, I tell it to everyone.
Is if you pick your stuff on YouTube, so say, as we were just saying there, say I stream 2 to 3 hours a night, only people that are watching at that time get to see that, right? And then it's on me if I can push it out to different Facebook sites and stuff like that. Maybe you'll get a few more. But if you put stuff on YouTube, people watch YouTube 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? You could be appealing to someone in Australia, which is the opposite time of the world where I am. So when I'm streaming, they're sleeping. But if they type in the right thing, or they go back and look at the leagues, or they like who you are, then they can go on YouTube and they can just watch constantly. And if you have a video on there for a month and it ends up getting to like 800 views, that's 800 people that haven't seen your stream, but they've seen your league on Twitch. And if what do we say? Say 10%, 5% of them come. That's an extra like 40, 80 people. Quick math. That will come to your stream that wouldn't have before. Which was exactly what you explained to me when we first started talking a couple of months ago, however long ago it was. Yeah. And it's by far, hands down, like great information to new streamers. People don't always know that. It's not common knowledge to do this. It's just more like test and adjust and experience and asking the right questions. That's why I'm never scared to ask a question to someone like, how do you do this? Oh, what's that song? Or how do you get this overlay, this, that, and the other? If you don't ask, you don't get. They can always say, look, I don't want to tell you that's my thing or whatever, but you can always get an idea and always make. I always try to make your stream your own. Don't try and copy someone else's. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't do what Chief does. I'm far too good looking. But you know, I can play decks badly, but I can't. You know, I can't come up do the meme thing as much as you. I'm just not that way inclined to do memes. I'm just naturally funny and hilarious. I'll put some tumbleweed in there or something like that.
Yeah, no one laughed at that. Absolutely no one, not a single soul laughed at that.
All right, next one. So you've just become partner on Twitch.
Yeah.
What's the next goal?
Yeah. Next goal, probably sub count up. Like that's the biggest thing, and like figuring out how to actually get more people to sub.
Because you just moved recently, right? You're taking a year off from college, university, whatever you guys call it in America.
Yeah.
You took a year off, and you're going to go full-time streamer, so you're going to see if you can make a living out of this, right?
Yep. So first thing I got to do is get a schedule. Like that's one thing I've never done in the 2 years. The reason why I got away with it is because I just did raw hours of like 16 hours a day.
Yeah, you do
at different times.
I've literally woke up in the morning, seen your streaming, gone to work, come home, and I still see your streaming. I'm like, this guy's must have been. I've literally done a day job, and you're still streaming before and after. It's mental. That's hard work pays off. So you want to get your sub count up. You're starting a Patreon.
Yeah, starting a Patreon. It's almost done now. I just need like 2 more tiers made, but I got all the ideas in from different places, and it's all coming together. So that'll be good. So then I can have that. And the last thing I'm doing right now is setting up a website through Streamlabs. So it's just very basic, but this way it can link and connect all my my Patreon, YouTube, Discord, and Twitch on one place, and then embed the stream.
Me saying now, how can people watch you or get hold of you? And you go in YouTube, Discord. You can just send one link. That's my website. All my other links are on that. Nice and easy, all tied up in one place.
Yeah. They can just see YouTube all the time. Oh, look at all these old leagues. A Patreon. Oh, I want to support them, but like, I don't know, like not a big. I'll never watch them on Twitch, but then this way I can get my stuff made through YouTube or using the Patreon to have me make a video for you.
Well, that's what. So like with dono decks, I've only just started this recently, but I reckon people that would donate a deck, and even if they're like, look, I want you to play this deck. I can't watch you play this deck. I've got to go to work, or I've got to go, see family or whatever like that. Then 9 out of 10 times they're happy for you to do it, record it, and I'll watch it on YouTube later. Like people were more than happy for that. I've found. I obviously don't get the same as you kind of sketch, but that's what I'm kind of finding is people don't really mind when you do it as long as they see your deck and you don't just do a.
Usually it's like that. If they're the way to watch it, they're happy.
Yeah, obviously.
Some want to be there, so then you accommodate, but.
I suppose they can tell you how to play as well. Like, this is what I would do. Because some people, it's just their pet decks they want to see played, right?
Yeah.
But other people, it's just, this is a deck I've brewed. This is a deck I like the idea of. Can you play it? See if it's any good in the current meta. Maybe they've got a tournament coming up and they want you to play their deck. So, they can see what you would change for it. Because you play a lot of Magic, right? More than the average person, you play a lot of Magic. Just by being a natural Magic streamer, you're playing, as you said, 10, 12 hours a day. Where people at home, kitchen table Magic, don't get to play that much. You probably play more in one day than people do in a week.
I forget about that. That people don't play close. Like average person, like Max, you'll go to like 3 events a week. Like you'll play your own pet deck at 3 different places during the week. Play 3 to 4 matches a night, and that's like half a stream for me.
Yeah.
It's just I play astronomically way more.
It's not only that it's just a different variety of people and decks. If you're always playing your same meta, you always know the same decks, same people with the same decks. Where online, it's like the Wild West sometimes. Sometimes, obviously standard is more predictable because you got a small amount of card pool. But when you get into modern and into Pioneer, Legacy, etc., the what you can play against online is so vast, it's unreal. So it's better for people.
It is, but it's so concentrated. Like the Pioneer, those 3 Legacy, the Pioneer, Legacy, and Modern. Everyone's generally playing the same decks. It's different online. The online meta is super different than a paper meta game. It's unreal. I play more variety when I play paper Magic than when I do play online.
But that's in leagues. Would you say in the challenges you don't? So one thing
No.
seem to when I watch
In
people
the challenges, I play against. It's even more centralized because they actually are just playing those 3 decks.
That's what I mean. Like in the challenges, they're normally it's not as big a Wild West. It's kind of people who've got the.
Oh no, but I'm saying in leagues. In leagues, it's very centralized.
Oh, okay.
Like it'll be more like to 6 decks, but it's still very very much. I know what I'm gonna play against over and over and over again. Where in Paper Magic, I'll play against the randomest things and lose. Like some guy brings his all foil Soul Sisters deck, another person plays some weird Grixis combo. Like people just do their own thing because that's what they have. That's
And
what
this is why
they feel
people
like. Yeah.
really like the like buys in GPs, right? Is because they
Yeah.
that kind
Oh
of
my goodness.
that kind of gets filtered out in the earlier rounds, and then by the later rounds they know the game. But now they've just got rid of buys. It's kind. I'm actually hearing people from this weekend that we're recording this. Is it Cope? Is it which one's it? Is it Austin or something like that? GP Austin.
Yeah, GP Austin.
Everyone's going on about that, and they're saying that there's just all these random decks that people I see losing to. Very good modern players are losing to these decks because they're just like I didn't bring my sideboard for this combo deck or this and it makes
like
for a good
Protein
story.
Hulk, like you don't have your surgical extraction to beat Protein Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like you just didn't,
and you just get washed. Like,
and you just sat there like looking at your hand going, "This shouldn't be
buys are
happening."
needed.
But
Like,
it's part of Magic. I enjoy that part of Magic. I like it when people bring, because for you know what I mean. Just because it's someone's crazy idea homebrew doesn't mean it's not the next big deck. Like remember when Magic AIDS. He's a YouTuber. If you don't watch him, fucking watch him. He's insanely funny and good. But he made humans. He was the first person to build humans. Kind of like I wouldn't say a meme, but he was building tribal decks. And he went, "Oh, I built humans," and it did it. And obviously now humans is like one of the top tier decks in modern. It's evolved into this powerhouse, and he was one of the first to do it. So just because someone builds it thinking it's going to be a bit of a memey brew doesn't mean it's going to go off. But 9 out of 10 times they do become like these decks.
Everyone thinks like I made Vanifar, or like I was the father of Niv Mizzet, which is not even close. I stole both those. Like I don't make any decks. I just steal everything. And people are like,
decks,
"This is you."
That's Aspiring Spike stuff, right?
Aspiring Spike.
You want decks made? You make sure you watch Aspiring Spike.
The thing he'll tweet out his deck the day before. He'll be like, "I'm gonna stream this tomorrow," and that's where I come in. Yoink, we're streaming that tonight.
What, you're streaming in 8 hours? Oh, guess what I'm doing for the next 8 hours, bitch?
It's gonna be on my YouTube in 4. Like that's what I do. Then people are like, "Hey, Chief did this."
Yeah, going in his own stream. Oh, Chief's been streaming this for the last 12 hours. What are you doing?
Yeah, just like copier. Even though like I was like, "Nah, I took this deck from." Any Twitter list is not safe. I'll go find them. That's all I'll go through looking for.
It's the only reason you're at Twitter, right? Okay.
Yeah, I just to steal ideas on Twitter.
Moving on, kind of this brings us nicely on to so who's the streamer that you kind of base yourself on? Like when you first started, like who do you look up to?
Jeff Hooglin. Just the business model of it is the absolute like perfect ideal. You have the separate website to link in all your people. You have the YouTube going. People know what they're gonna get. It's set up very very efficient because like no one else really is doing that. Like it's like the Wild West. Like everyone here is innovating by themselves. Like if you look at the arena streamers, like I don't know, I don't really watch too much, but like how many of them are doing donation deck lists, or like how do they acquire the money to live? Like how do you incentivize people to sub? Like what are you gonna give them?
I also don't watch many arena streams, but when I go on Twitch and I look at like who's streaming, obviously there's arena mixed with MTGO, and always the big arena ones seem to be the bigger names, like as in MPL players, pro players, or
they're huge names that everyone knows. It's hard to break into that to be like because like you look at some of the moto streamers of people you never heard of are like they all have different clout. Like Yama's made the Pro Tour a couple times. He's won challenges, so then people want to watch him.
See, I'd say Yama is your classic grinder, right? He's your classic old school grinder. It plays every event, plays probably the best deck he thinks in every event, and he's just there. He's there to win. He's a pure through grinder.
Aspiring Pike, didn't he like top How do you do
I
the
think
Team Pro Tour?
I think he was on Pro Tour 25, and I think he came top, not 8, but like maybe top 32 of that Pro Tour.
Yeah, I think it
he
was
says.
top 32 of that Pro
And I
Tour.
know he's like done well in SCGs and all that as well.
And so he's done very well. So and he builds decks that everyone uses. So like he's
Everyone
built up
uses.
his name, and like those are like the anomalies, because every other moto streamer that's like above 150 views is all a pro or semi-pro.
Yeah.
Because Yamo's like, look at this website. Because we're trying to figure out how to grow. Like, what are all the people? I was like number 32 biggest Magic streamer for.
That's still good.
I can't remember what the number was though. It was I think it was for hours watched, or I don't think it was average viewers, or I think it was watched hours or something like that.
Yeah.
And so he's like, what do the people, all 31 above you, have in common? He just, like, he didn't know. He just asked him. I was like, oh, I'll look. Oh, it turns out all 31, except I think one, like, besides Caleb and Newmont, they're all professional, like, gold, platinum. Like, they're all professional players. I'm like, well, there's one difference, I guess.
Well, that's, like, good on your behalf as well. So technically, out of that list that you said, you'd be, like, third out of people that aren't MPL players, basically, or pros. Right, you got Caleb and your finger above you, but let's be honest, they're on the next level when it comes to streaming. Like they're
people want to watch the professionals, like nothing wrong on them. So it's just like trying to break into that. And like even Hooglin was a big name SCG player. Like he was on the top 10 leaderboard, and he always played Kiki. He got famous for that, and everyone knows him back in the day as that Kiki guy. And then he became this huge meme streamer.
Kiki,
and that's like. He's entertainment. Like that's really good. Like he's entertainment, so people really, really watch him. All the SCG people that were big all have huge support just because of the exposure that they had.
Well, SCGs even now to this day, they do such a good job of like promoting people in the SCG circuit. Like if you start grinding that circuit, and you're doing well, obviously.
And you go to like event over and over.
They really do promote, and they do it very, very well. It's kind of like at the minute we've got the GP on and we've got SCG on, but personally I'd rather watch the GP because I think this is my own view, by the way. I think the skill set's higher at a GP than it is at an SCG.
Oh, it definitely is.
But the production value of an SCG watching it is so much better than the GP because I know they've just brought GP coverage back, so I'm not going to badmouth it too much. Like I'm very happy it's back.
It's not good, but it's back.
Yeah, it's back, and you can see people playing at a high level, and this is where you'd see most of your pros, right? It's very rare a pro would end up going to an SCG over a GP, unless maybe it's in their back door, like they can just get out of bed in the morning and walk to the SCG instead of flying across the country to.
Have you watched any of the GP this weekend?
Yeah, I watched quite a bit.
You see so much Urza versus Urza action. They had to go down to the 3-2 so they could play Niv Mizzet versus Yogg combo.
Yeah,
that's about right.
That's the sort of things you want to see. Like I don't want to see Oka back and forth. It's just so boring now to me. I've lost.
You know what made me
so
so happy though was Dana Fisher, the elf girl.
Yeah.
She made day 2. I wonder what she's playing. I really hope she's still playing elves.
She is playing elves. She did a deck tech.
Okay, good.
She is playing elves.
If she's on Urza.
Like when they did the deck tech, she's like, "Yeah, I just lost to my bad matchup," and like it was all like doom and gloom. And the next thing you see is like she's made day 2, like her second ever made day 2.
6-1, 6-1 locked.
Killing it. I know people have never even made day 2 before. So.
And wait, no GPs, right? No buys, right?
Yeah, no buys whatsoever. So that's straight up.
That's awesome.
Combo enough with elves, like.
Because she had 2 buys before. Because she did. She went to every GP, so then she got all the points.
Man, why didn't my parents do that to me when I was younger?
Her dad is an old Magic pro, I believe, and so then she plays, he watches over her, like lets her play, but she's young, so he just watches over her, and so he doesn't play. It's just her going to all these GPs and playing, and
Man, so at least you know she's never gonna get into drugs, right? Because she can't afford it.
Yeah, or if they're really rich,
they're on that cardboard crack. Okay.
Cardboard. I missed that comic.
We've talked about a few streamers so far, but who are your 3 favorite streamers to watch? You don't have to say me. Okay, excluding me. Let's go that one.
I rarely watch. You're never on. I'm usually sleeping when you're streaming.
Oh, that's the biggest highlight of my Thanks, mate. Thanks for promoting me. Now go and carry on.
Yeah, it's different time zones, you goober. MTG Tavern #1,
Yeah. Why?
just pure comedy, just like pure like the Three Stooges idiot comedy, like
Are you sure?
misclick, like he'll misclick, ah! He'll just start yelling at the top of his lungs and just like I'm an idiot. He'll just start shouting I'm an idiot, and it's genuine. It's not him acting. It's just him as a person, and so that's why it's absolutely priceless.
Okay.
Just Three Stooges comedy.
So make sure you check out Tavern. I almost say Cavern then. Too much magic on my brain. Second streamer.
Probably Yama, just because all my people are in there. That like.
There's a backhanded compliment to Yammer. I'm not watching you, Yammer. I'm just going in because all my viewers are in there as well when I'm not streaming. You're basically my waiting room, Yammer. Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool. He'll come to my stream uptime because he wants that host. He's like the biggest snake of trying to just steal hosts. Just uptime to everybody. And
what is this uptime?
host...
I do see people come in and do uptimes, but what is that just to see how long they've been on
it's
for?
It's a meme between us. They'll be like, "Oh, you're up for 20 minutes. Looks like you're gonna end stream soon. I'm ready for that host." Like, because Yama did a tournament recently where he did the first round and then he just went and slept on the bed for like the next 30 minutes. And so now it's just like, "Oh, you've been uptime for 20 minutes. Time to go take a nap. Host me." Just like,
okay, and third person.
Floopy Minx. She's just pure.
Make sure you word this carefully.
Entertainment.
Okay.
She's just good to watch.
She's been killing it with Cube recently as well.
She's good at Cube. She's got one trophy now.
Hey, all the best people have one trophy, mate. Which brings us nicely on to what's the best thing that you have accomplished in MTG. People can't see it right now, but I know behind you, above your head, is a trophy. Oh, there you go. What's that trophy for?
That's for this 3K that I won here. So Canada has their own SCG, kind of. SCG is way bigger, but we have Face to Face, which is Canada's SCG. So they do tournaments like once a month throughout the country at different locations in different provinces. And I won our 3K by my hometown of like 170 people. I picked up Blue White that morning and I never played it before, really. And I ended up going undefeated and winning the whole thing. It was like 8 rounds of Swiss. And then top 8, and the top 8 was 3.5 hours long. Or sorry, the finals was 3.5 hours long.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's why control decks are not my thing. I just don't think I have the patience. I can't. In fact, I've got a good story. The first time I ever played control deck, this is when, like Mono Blue Devotion was a thing, and
I wasn't playing yet. I wasn't a player yet.
Was that not
Mono
playing?
Blue Devotion Day?
So
that was right before me. That was 2014. That was right before me.
So basically, there was a mono blue deck that was like probably the best deck in the format, but there was also an Esper control deck, which was like really really good, and that's what kind of kept the mono blue deck in check. And then you had like a mono black deck that had Pack Rat and stuff like that, and these were like the big 3 decks. And my friends lent me Esper Control for the first time, and I'm like a mono red player. I just like tap things and burn people and stuff. So they gave me this to play. They go, play this. It's the best deck. I was like, okay, cool. And I literally round 1 sat across against someone that's just top 8'd one of the old school PTQs because they put their PTQ mat out. So they've just like top 8 in a 400-man tournament. I was like, okay, cool, it's fine. And then I realised it's a mirror we're playing, and I'm the person in the mirror that goes, turn 1 Mutavault. Yep, it's a 3-colour deck with Mutavault. I go, turn 1 Mutavault, turn 2 attack you with Mutavault, and they just like go untap, play this like 2-drop enchantment or something that was like really good, and just basically win the game off that, all because I'm just attacking for 2 to turn 2 instead of holding up these spells that I'm meant to be holding up like a mom. And yeah, it's very rare I'll play a control deck now. And that's my shit story number 3 or whatever it's like.
Okay.
Okay.
now with control, I will like half the time it's mood dependent. It'll be for slamming because the control's just about to fairy right now. So half the time I'll just save it to like turn 6 or 8, And the other half is like, do you have it? Turn 3, slam.
Just been how.
Oh, it's down. I win. Like the game's done. Like that's how Teferi is right now. Like
Yeah,
it lands.
Teferi's
Oh,
so sick.
I win. Like game's over. I won.
Or if someone does that to you and you counter it for 2 mana, then end up and play your own, and you're just like, bitch, please.
Yeah, because I will lose if they counter it and just play their own. I lose. Like the game's done. And so yeah, it's all mood dependent if I'm ready to play control. But blue, white, and pioneer, I'm 10-0 in leagues, and I top 8'd and lost to Yama with blue, white, and pioneer. So like, I like that trophy was with blue, white. So like for some reason my like playstyle suits blue, white really really well, but I just hate playing it because it takes forever to win.
What who do you think's got the most wins when you and Yama have played? Who what's the record? Do you know?
Me and him actually playing. Jeez, we don't play too much actually because we tend to like avoid streaming at the same time. I think we're pretty even. I think we're at like 2-2.
I wonder if I ask him what he would say.
He'll probably say he's up because that's just who he is. So I'll just say, yeah, I've never lost to him. Anytime I have, I've given him the win.
Oh,
my mom always told me to give to less fortunate.
Smash. Okay.
The kindness of my heart.
Right, we've talked about where people can find you. Obviously, they can find you on YouTube. They can find you on Twitch. Find you on Patreon soon. They can find you on your website that you're building.
Two big things is YouTube and page YouTube and Twitch. Like YouTube /SquaChief and then Twitch /SquaChief. Those are the best places.
I'll make sure I link them underneath here so you can get the very limited swag that comes with it. So I'm gonna give you some quick fire questions. You're gonna pick one or the other. Okay, nice and easy.
Yeah.
What's your favorite format? I say nice and easy. Christ, you tank
every time. It is. I tanked last time too. Okay, it's modern. I hate all the. Oh no, Ooh. It's vintage now. I love vintage.
Vintage is your favorite format.
Yeah, I enjoy it so much actually.
Okay, these were meant to be like quick fire questions, and now we're talking about it. But okay,
vintage next.
What's your favorite color or wedge in Magic?
Oh, I was about to say colors. Oh, baby blue, easy. No, it's Sultai.
Sultai? What's your favorite Pokemon?
Growlithe.
Did not see that one coming. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke. Not even close. Like all day, baby. Look at this Coke. Oh.
Sponsored. You can buy other beverages.
I wish.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Would you rather ban Oka or Urza?
I'd rather ban Oko. Yeah, not even close. The best card in Magic or like a better card in Magic?
You or Yama, who's better?
Me.
Easy street. Okay, last one. We're going to finish off with some sentences. You have to complete the sentence. I'll start it off, you finish it. Let's see if we can get this one, because we might have done this already once and you might have tanked on this one.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hashtag
SquaChief. Next.
I'm going to win.
Everything.
Everybody should follow you because
I need to eat.
Shout out to
NTG Tavern.
I would rate this interview a
5 out of 7.
5 out of 7. Is that just to rub it in about the Tron thing to me? Because the whole,
No, it's a meme. It's a deep internet meme
that's what people brought out when the Mulligan War, right?
No, it's nothing related to Magic, actually. Oh. It's a Reddit meme where this guy was like Star Wars or something. It was absolutely perfect. Couldn't get any better. The peak of perfection. I rate it 5 out of 7. And so then they're like, what? Like, you said it was perfect. Like, what more could it do? And so then anything he said, he's like, wow, really? He would just do different statuses and be like, wow, that restaurant was very good. 10 out of 10 would do it again. And they're like, don't you mean 5 out of 7? And it just like kept coming back. So it's like
we had a little mini series start down where I live, like a card mini, very 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 small like SCG type thing, and they called that 5 is the new 7 because of the London Mulligan rule. Or no, this is when it was the Scry rule, not the London Mulligan rule. It was the Scry rule.
Vancouver.
Yeah, the Vancouver Mulligan. When that came out, they were sort of saying like that 5 cards is now the new 7 or something like that. So they used to call it 5 was 7 or some shit. Shit story number 4.
Do you think London Mulligan should stay?
That's a good question. I think it makes games of Magic now. There's no more longer you just mull down to 4 cards and just get steamrolled by your opponent because you had to keep a 1 lander with 6 mana spells or some shit like that. But it does make decks like Tron so consistent.
I think we should go back to Vancouver, but limited should be London Mulligan.
We'll have 2 separate mulligans.
I know it's impossible to ask, but that's like my solution.
I just think Wizards wouldn't like they're trying to appeal to new people. Right? They know they've got us hooked.
Wouldn't. Especially if they're on Arena, they would never do that. No. I think that would be a solution that would work, but it would never be incorporated. But I think it's a.
If we got rid of the London Mulligan rule, which decks do you think would take the biggest hit? Because obviously, like some decks can play 18 lands at the minute, or you were playing one the other day with 14 lands. You know what I mean?
I flooded more than half the time.
You can't get away with that if you don't have a London Mulligan rule.
Yeah, no, you can't. But oh man, I want to play that deck again. 14 land Delver was a dream in Modern.
14 land Delver. If there's any more reason to go watch him, it
worked.
You said you flooded with it. You flooded.
I went 0-3 and I still think the deck worked. I only went 0-3 because I went against Dredge in an impossible matchup, and then its worst matchup, Eldrazi Tron. Those are my 3 matches. So like when you're
go on.
But if you're up against like your 30-70 matchups 3 times in a row, but you still feel the deck's good, like that's the thing. Like it wasn't that mana was never
the issue.
Too much of an issue. We
sound like when when like you're at a GP and you lose a round and you go back to your mates and you're like, oh yeah, it was the matchup that sucked. It wasn't me and the hand I kept and my opponent drawing the exact. It was definitely something else. It's nothing to do with me.
Yeah, but I got video proof. That's the thing. I got proof. All like analysis is like, oh, see.
Make sure
they ripped. They ripped.
You just stop dropping your chin. You're like half the time your head's half off the well, not half of the screen. It's just your chin. We like your chin. That's better. Stand up straight, military it, shoulders back.
I gotta start using my chair better so I can like be healthier.
Especially if you're gonna live in it for the next year or so. Get that posture.
I know, right? Gotta get up every hour. Boom. I have the whole chair set up. I had to import this chair because they're like, "What are you bringing back from the U.S. border?" This chair. I forgot about all my Magic cards that I bought. You answered truthfully, right? Like in my mind, I was answering truthfully. It's like, okay, this chair. So I had to pay like $33 taxes on it to bring it in. I was like, okay, I don't care. Like, let me in the country. I'm ready to move back. But this chair is like, it's coming with me wherever I go, wherever I move.
I do. That's one thing I was like, I'm so happy I invested in like a good gaming chair, but I got quite lucky because this is second hand, but it's basically brand new because this rich kid in like where I live, we got the countryside, and all the
stole it from him.
No, I didn't steal from him. He was basically going through like
he just bought it.
He just come back from university and it was like, I'm gonna go cycle the length of Britain and I need to raise money for it. So he was like selling this brand new gaming chair really cheap, and I was like, yeah. Well, I didn't know the story until I just saw it was he was selling the chair. And then when I got there, he sold. I was like, yeah.
Wow, this is a big description on the chair.
he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. That's a really nice thing to do. Basically, you've got nothing else to do and spend your money on, but sure. And his house was insane. It literally rocked up to this mansion. I was like, am I at the right place? Like, am I going to get arrested? Are they going to throw dogs at me or something? But yeah, it was super sweet, and I managed to get my chair from that. And same with Mike. I built my computer, but I got loads of stuff second hand. My mic's second hand as well, and you know what I mean. I'm just a poor streamer. I'm not. I have a day job. But on that one,
I don't.
I don't. What's if you leave one message to everyone to end this video?
Give me feedback. Like, if you ever see me, like if you're looking out, you know who I am. I would love feedback on stuff you would like to see in the future. Like, that's my biggest problem, is not knowing exactly what the people want, what they want to see. That's the one thing I'm trying to figure out. Because me as a person, I never like would watch a professional player, like, and like I don't. I'm trying to explain it how my mind is different than the average MTG player base. Like, I'm not a professional but I'm not like a mid-level player. I'm just trying to like in between doing it for fun to entertain. But I never looked at the pro scene and was like, hey, I need help with this. Hey, I want this from you. Like I just have always been like in my own bubble. I like watching people for memes or for fun rather than to be the best. So I don't know what people want to like
So
to
basically,
see
you want people
overall.
to tell you what they want to see, and it's
Yeah,
not just like, if you want, like, let's be like, if you want to go see someone play Magic 100% perfectly and make every right line, you're gonna go watch like Reduke or someone like that, basically, right? You
yeah.
want one of these Hall of
He's a
Famers.
gift. He's a gift.
If you want to see someone uh, on your level or above you that wants to play your deck, want to have fun with it, and you can chat to them, because that's another thing that people always say to me, because I'm nowhere near, but I'm not big at all. But if people come into my chat, they literally ask a question, I answer it. Where if you're in these huge chats going like
It's
this,
hard.
you know what I mean, and streamers can't keep
Yeah.
up with that. It's so hard.
You were there when we spanned Saffron Olive,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. When we did
So
like,
like it's so hard to communicate to a person one-on-one when they're that big. So we rated them, and I made a new emote that was Sethgasm.
can you
It's
do
like
the face for me,
like
please? Can you do the Seth Hasm
it's
face?
just the like laid back, open mouth. Oh my goodness! And
Yeah,
so it's off of Twitch's emote Craigasm. And so Cherry found it, and so I tweeted at him asking for permission, but he never got back to me because he's too big to see it. Because I'm sure so many people are adding that guy on Twitter, being like, hey, look at me. Hey, can
here's
you help
my
me with this?
brew.
Hey, check, here's my deck. And so like you can't look at your mentions when you're that big. And so then I was like, we'll go to his Twitch channel. I made an emote, and we rated him, and then we had like 20 people all spamming that emote of his face just laid back, and he just laughed, chuckled, was like, that's a good emote.
Yeah, he's
And
like the nicest guy as well. Like, I've never met him before, but he just comes
I
across
know,
as the
right? I'm
nicest
ready
guy.
to get this email, cease and desist letter. Hey, take my face off your emails.
I'm gonna sue you if you don't get it. You're like, oh my god, oh my
Like
god.
the next YouTube video, I got sued by Saffron Olive. This is why.
You've had a deck tech done by him, right? And one of your decks played on stream.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure I've had a couple. Like some of the decks I popularize, uh, the pros are like these big companies will pick it up. Like the Mardu one, that's this guy Adam something, Adam Lit, I think it is, one of my subscribers. It was like, hey, do this donation deck list. I did it. I got a 5-0 with Mardu and Pioneer. It was a pretty cool deck list based around Young Pyromancer and Monastery Mentor. And then Saffron Olive, like MTG Goldfish, looked at it. It was like, hey, this is a cool deck. And then they sent to the people of like 5 different decks, like, vote which one you want us to do a video on. They picked my deck. They did it. And so they saw that. And then another example of that was SCG Sam Pardee. He had my old when I was doing Vanifar and Modern, making that popular. I had like a 5-0 every single
He's the guy
iteration.
that does mining modern, is it?
No. That's TCG player. Mining mod. That's TCG. SCG. Sam Pardee.
He's the guy with glasses, isn't he? He's got glasses, dark hair.
Yeah, it's like him, Matt Nass, and I can't remember. They all like, I think they do streams together.
Yeah, I have seen that. I've seen that.
So he took my deck list of my 5-0 deck from Vanifar and did it as a Channel Fireball video, or maybe he is a CFB, because I know he did it into a video. I think it was Channel Fireball.
But it's good. That's like another way to get exposure. Like if you 5-0, but people don't look at the arena 5-0s. They might look at like 10-0s or 10-1s from the Mythic Championship qualifiers, whatever they call them now. But other than that, it's like the 5-0 dumps where you can kind of get your name out there and get known, and people can see who you are. Even I've had one done by fucking. You say about stealing Spike's decks. I played one of Spike's decks when he played it on stream. I was like, oh, that's cool. So I played it on stream. I got the 5-0 of it. I got it published on Goldfish. Then Seth made a deck tech on it, and then obviously everyone voted for it, and then he played it on stream. And I was just like, it's really cool that you're playing my deck. Thanks, blah blah blah.
You get the credit.
I was like, I didn't make this deck. Like it was Aspiring Spike. I didn't make this deck. It was Aspiring Spike.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to. Like I can't spill that guy's credit at the minute. He's going off. He's doing so well.
I just want to finish with the Sam Pardee thing. So he took my deck. I played Vanifar, did a video on it. I knew it was mine because I played Threat on the sideboard because I played against Blue White 7 times in one day. And I was like, F this, I'm losing Blue White. And then never brought it in again. And then main deck I had Shalai. No one else had that. It was my 5-0 deck. I see him at the GP Calgary. We're both 6-0. And I sit down and everyone, so like I have like online, everyone knows my avatar name, ZX Rogue. Like I'll play against people, everyone's like, hey, you're SquaChief. Like, yeah. So like the pros will see it because I have a ton of 5-0s, and so they'll look at lists occasionally from it. And so I sit down, I'm like, you took my deck, like that, like you gave me no credit. That was mine. As we sit down for the 6-0 GP in the feature match, and it was Twitter. It was Twitter. They didn't have coverage then, so it was Twitter feature match, and so. I was like, hey, that was mine. I got no credit, like scolding him. And then Corey Burkhart was there. And that week on like Tuesday or Wednesday before the GP, we were talking. I was like, oh, because everyone's like, that's Corey. And my name's Corey. I'm like, no, duh, I'm right here. Like, what are you guys going off about? Like, that's Corey. Like, Burkhart. Oh, the other guy was Burkhart. And so I'm like, hey, you going to GP? Yeah, I'm doing coverage. And so, okay, cool. And then I beat him. He was on Amulet Titan. And I meet him there at the 6-0 in the feature match. He's doing the coverage for everything. And I'm like, hey, do you know who I am? He's like, no. I was like, ZX Rogue. Oh! And like, they know the ZX Rogue name, but they don't, like...
That's weird. It's weird that people know your tag names instead of your actual name.
Yeah, not even SquaChief, just the Moto name.
That's not a bad way to, that's not... I guess it all can appeal to the more old school as well. Like if you say to people, "I'm SquaChief," and they're like, "Oh, cool," and they go, "Oh no, I'm Rogue." Like, oh yeah, I've seen your page loads of times.
People know the. So I should maybe I should probably change that.
Yeah, it's quite hard to change, right? I think you've got to really ask.
I don't think you can change it. Like, got to make a new account, which
you don't want to do that.
Oh, that actually
PP fucking crossover.
But didn't they just zero out recently or no?
Don't think so.
I have like 600 QPs and I think they are worthless pretty soon.
Oh yeah. I think those have just zeroed out, but I'm about like play points you can't trade across.
It's it's funny how much I played. I was who was it? They were talking about play points today. They're like I think the highest I saw was some pro had 10. I think it was Shaheen Sarani. They were mentioning had like 10K play points, and then Malaki adds me. He's like, Chief, I think had 10,000. I'm like, nah, I had 14,000, and then I blew it all.
Just drop the mic. Just 14,
like, nah, I had 14,000.
Easy.
You're wrong. Yeah.
SquaChiefs left the chat, fucking easy street. Yeah. Have you one on that? When you said you knew it was your deck list because of the sideboard because you picked the card in to deal with blue white. Have you ever randomly just do that to see who will copy your deck? Because I did that when you always give me shit about Arena.
I don't think about that. No.
But you always give me shit about Arena. When I did that, I don't know, what was it, 12-0, 12 thing? That deck I built, when I posted the deck list, I changed cards in the sideboard that made it, because it was a best of one, so the sideboard didn't count. But I was playing the Wishes package, so I could actually get cards from my sideboard, but I swapped loads of them out for creatures just to see who would take the deck and copy and paste it and see, oh yeah, this is my deck, blah blah, see how they get on. And surprisingly, a lot of people did do that. But I know Tom Ross does it occasionally for fun. He just wants 14 cards in the sideboard, so he just puts a 15th in.
Magus of the Moon does that. He'll put a random Tron line in the sideboard.
just for shits and giggles.
He'll be playing Mill. He'll play Mill and he'll put one in the sideboard. I'm like, what the heck? He's like, in case I 5-0. That's why you're not 5-0.
Fair one. Maybe that's why I don't 5-0 either. I'm like the 4-1 king at the minute. I've had about 8 4-1s this week. I can't get a 5-0.
One stream, I did 7 leagues. I had 2 5-0s, and I had 4 4-1s, and then 1 3-2 this week.
You can't just flex on me all the time.
I was so close to having I went 14-1. I was like, no.
Fucking flexing on me, but that's a good place to start. Okay, or to finish, shall we say that obviously you're killing it. You're fun to watch. You're all right to talk to.
It's not all winning either, Will. Like, I'll go through spurts of hard losses.
Oh yeah, everyone does that. If you're a Magic player and you haven't lost, you're Reed Duke, and even Reed Duke loses. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be
even Reed Duke loses, but like, yeah, no, there's no like perfect win streaks. Like, you will go through slumps of losing 6 leagues in a row. You'll be losing for like 2 months. Like, that's when it's bad.
You know what I mean? It is just one of those things, and it could. I don't know why it could be to the case that I tend to play more aggressive and mid-range decks, and obviously the aggressive decks, then the mid-range come in, and then the mid-range and control comes in, and then when that cycle hits the control decks, that's probably when I start getting.
What's your favorite? Aggro, mid-range, control, or like over control, like ramp.
Aggro.
Okay. Like mono red.
I've always played like the aggressive red Gruul deck.
Chunky red in Pioneer right now.
I haven't played it in Pioneer. I
went 5-0 with it. Play it. It's a good deck. That's MTG Harry's deck.
Who?
He won the challenge.
As you keep saying to him, who? Who's Harry?
Who's Harry? There's too many Harrys.
It's funny though, but yeah.
And he goes, hey, follow me on Twitter. Like, dude, too many people ask me to follow on Twitter. I can't follow everybody.
To say that, I do the when I play Pioneer, it's always against Harry. Because Harry also has his own YouTube channel and does his podcast with Gab Nassif. And like he's got a lot of different elements going on. He's actually editing as well at the minute, which is some of his stuff's really cool to watch. But me and him have done 2 videos so far for his channel where we play different Pioneer decks against each other. So I think the first one I was on Spirits, he was on Blue White, and then we just did one that I was on Mono Green, he was on Chunky Red, because obviously he just won the challenge with it. So, but he thinks he got lucky in the top 8 because his Mono Green opponent mulled down to 4 or 5 cards and had like 1 landers the whole both time.
Any tournament you win, you get lucky quite a bit.
Oh, like you have to get lucky, right? You
have
play
to get
perfectly,
lucky.
And if you just have the wrong draw or anything like that, you just lose. It's very rare. In fact, I was going to finish the conversation, but let's go on to about. I'm a big believer in. There's 2 people that try to turn up to big events. So if you've got a one-off event like a PTQ, do you turn up with the best deck, or do you turn up with a deck to try and beat the best decks, like a meta deck?
Usually a meta deck.
I'm a meta deck person.
I hate playing mirrors.
I just like when I qualified for the Pro Tour, it was in Modern, and this is when Blue White Control, Dredge, and Blue Green Infect were big, and I was like, okay, cool. Looking at all the card selections, I was like, what's actually good in this meta? And I was very close to just going green blue infect and trying to play the rest of it, but I actually played green black infect, and I didn't drop a game all day. I literally went 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, double ID, top 8, 2-0'd my Dredge player who just won a GP like a month before. 2-0'd him, and
when was this? Was this back in beginning of 2018?
Maybe 2018, 2017. No, it would have been 2017-ish when I did.
Was it? Do you know what GP that was? That was GP Brussels.
It was when Eldrazi Winter was around. He won it with Eldrazi Winter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And that's then like
never mind.
Never mind.
Unimportant.
But yeah.
I just remember Dredge coming back, and I thought maybe. Okay. Anyways, continue.
No, this is when like Troll was still around when this Dredge was about. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. And, no, this
I basically just
thinking.
had Crusaders with hand disruption, and I just fucking just schooled everyone. They're like, oh fuck, how do I path to exile that? I'm like, exactly. They're like, oh, how do I block that? I'm like, mine's got first strike. Exactly. Like, you know what I mean? He just did everything, had the protection for what I needed, and I had hand discard spells as well, which it all just lined up so sweetly. But like I say, I must have got lucky at some points that tournament, because you can't just win the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's me. Like, I don't want to play the best deck when I go to tournament, because there are better players, and
they'll play the deck better than you. Yeah,
they'll play the deck better than me if we play the mirror. And so that's like my philosophy. Is that's why I avoid the best deck all the time, because they're better players, and I have to be able to beat them before the start of the tournament. And so that's why I play off meta decks. Like, that's why I took Niv to GP Vegas. Even though
is that the reason, or did people vote for you to take that?
I was always going to take it. I didn't want to play Hogak. I was always going to take it.
Even though I did when I went to my the GP and Hodak was around. I qualified for something. What did I qualify? I qualified for like the RPTQ or whatever by playing Hogak because the deck was broken. But when it came to the GP, I didn't play it. I was like, I don't want to.
I played Phoenix during the freaking Hogak summer.
I played humans.
Yeah.
I played Hogak
And like
when it had the mill combo in it, and I was like, this deck is absurd. Then when they banned Shrine, was it Shrine they banned? Yeah,
Alter Dementia.
Was it Alter? Did they ban Alter? Was it? It was a graveyard card, wasn't it?
They banned Alter first, and then they banned Bridge.
Oh yeah, it was Bridge second time that really killed it. But yeah, it was. Yeah, that deck was dumb. It's so good. But
super good.
We're gonna end it there, I think, because it's roughly an hour. This should be a good timing.
Yeah.
If I was to get another stream on the stream, who would you want me to get next? We're gonna do it like the ice bucket challenge thing.
I'll just ruin it. Do NTG Tavern next.
Tavern.
Yeah. He's another Brit.
All right, I'll see if I can get hold of Tavern and see what he says. All right.
He doesn't do anything with his life. He'll be free. He's good.
The quote of the evening does that thing with his life. Yeah. He'll be free. Says the
guy
going
like,
to a full-time Twitch streamer.
Professional, then you see this guy like the birds like big eyes like in the. Oh, is this what fame is? Or just like
the next one's just gonna be me and him talking about fish and chips and cider.
Yeah. But it'll be, oh man, Brexit.
Oh yeah, this Brexit thing. Right. Cheers, buddy. I'll see you soon. Yeah. Thanks, Chief. Everyone, if you haven't already by now, go below me. The links will be there. Make sure you click on Chief and give him a follow.
Will. Yeah. And
we'll see you again. Maybe this time next year we'll do it again. Hopefully we don't have to do this a third time. And I'll see you later on, bud. See you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.